Hello guys and welcome to today's video. My name is Matt and here we go. Thanks for the subscriptions of yesterday. Thanks for the support on the other video. Not really that many comments though, just as yet, but I've only got like 8 subscribers, so it really doesn't matter. Thanks for the views as well. And yeah, this is actually the second time I'm recording this video. I'm really tired, so I'm sorry if I mess up at some point. But yeah, what we will be doing in today's video is setting up a static IP address for your computer. In my case, I'm using Windows. This will work on any Windows computer, and it's basically the same on any Windows. This will also work on Mac and Windows Phone, or whatever phone or whatever device using internet connected to your Wi-Fi or via cable to your internet, basically. So a static IP address is basically a local IP address which doesn't change. And the reason for wanting to set up a static IP address is, for example, port forwarding. Because if you do port forward or open ports on your computer in your router, you will have to tell the router what device you want the ports open on. So if you do not have a static IP address, the port forwarding will only work for as long as you have that specific local area network, or you for that specific IP address. And if the static IP is not enabled, the IP will change like once a day or something, depending on your router, I think. So that would mean you would have to go and reconfigure your port forwarding all the time, and that's just annoying. So with this, the IP address will never change. So let's get cracking. First and foremost, as I said, this will work on most or on all networking or devices which uses internet. But in my case, I'm using Windows. If you do want to see a iPad or an iPad or Windows Phone video version of this, I could do that. I don't have a Mac, so I can't do it on Mac. But it's basically the same. Just Google around, because I'm not really sure where the settings are on Mac, but once you find them, it's very similar. So first and foremost, open up start menu and go to write CMD and press enter, and you'll be given with a command prompt. Type in ipconfig, oh, that's not ipconfig space all, and press enter. And this is what you'll get. Let's see if we can get this bigger. So you will have separate sections for all your Ethernet adapters installed on your computer. If you have, for example, VMware or VirtualBox, you will have separate sections for those as well, because they have virtual Ethernet adapters installed on your computer. But the one you're looking for is the one named something basic, like Ethernet adapter Ethernet. In my case, I'm using a wired network, so that is why it says that. It could say something wireless Ethernet or something in your case. But anyway, mine is called Realtek PCIe GBE family controller, very common provider of network cards, Realtek. So yours will probably be named something similar. And what we want to be looking at here is the subnet mask, which would probably be 255.255.255.nil, and the default gateway 192.168.1.1, and also the DNS servers, which could be 2 or 1 depending on your router. Mine is exactly the same as my default gateway. So we'll leave that open here in the corner, and we'll go ahead and open up the control panel. And we'll go into network and internet, network and sharing center, and change settings for network adapters. And you'll see all your network adapters. I've disabled all of the ones that I don't use, so basically I only have one. The one glowing is the one you want to configure, and it will say Ethernet or wireless VLAN or something. I'm not really sure what it says if you have wireless, but anyway, as you see here, the name is the same and everything. So let's right click and properties, and find Internet Protocol version for TCP IPv4. Double click this text, don't check or uncheck any boxes here, just leave it as it is, and double click, and as you'll see, you'll be given a box like this. Yours will have this checked probably, these two, to be honest. Obtain an IP address automatically will probably be checked for you, and also obtain a DNS server automatically. You will want to change the first box to use a following IP address, because I've already got mine set up, but yeah, after you check that box, you want to write exactly your default gateway into the IP address section. As you see, my default gateway was 192.168.1.1, but exactly the default gateway except the last number, which you can choose for yourself. However, there are exceptions. You can't use any number, but for now, let's see, I think it's around 254 you can use as the highest number, depending on routers. I am not really 100% sure, I'm sorry, but really I would just not, to be to be safe, just don't use such a high number. It really doesn't matter as long as you remember what you chose. The subnet mask will be filled automatically, hopefully, otherwise it should be exactly the same as in the prompt over here. And the standard gateway will of course be exactly the same as here, and the DNS server will also have to match the same as here. And after you are done, just press OK, and you are all set to go. But that's not it actually, because I recently discovered that, as I already said, you can't use any 3-digit number in the end of your new IP address. There are exceptions. As I said, 254 might be the highest value. I have no idea if it does depend on routers or not. But as you see here, I have my routers settings up on the screen. If you do not know how to access your router settings, you basically just type your standard gateway into the address bar on any browser really, and you can log in using I think it's admin on some routers. It depends on routers, but it should say underneath your router all the standard gateway, your standard username and password. And yeah, so I am at DHCP settings, and as you see here, it says start IP address 192.168.1.100 and end IP address 192.168.1.199. So basically what that means, when I have DHCP enabled on my router, is that if I do not use a static IP address on a particular device, not really it doesn't matter what device, for example my phone, I don't use a static IP address on that because I really have no use for it. I don't port forward my phone or anything. So what my router will do when my phone connects to the internet via wireless, it will be assigning my phone a LAN IP, and that IP in particular will be somewhere in the range between 192.168.100 and 192.168.199. So those 99 addresses are reserved by DHCP or reserved by the router itself to randomly assign new devices connecting, and these vary as well. That's the problem. So it could work if you could basically, I think, set up a static IP address and use an IP address from that range. But if you're really unfortunate, someone like your friend comes to your house, connects to your IP address or to your router, and the router assigns him the exact same IP as you have on your static IP address computer, then one of the devices won't work, since they're like, you can't have two devices with the same LAN IP. So use a number when you set up your static IP address, you should always use a number which is not in the range here, as you see on the screen, between 100 and 199. So I could actually use any number between 2 up to 99, and from 200 up to 254 for my static IP addresses, because my router will never assign those IP addresses automatically to any device. So just to get that out there, just use any number that is not in your range of DHCP addresses. If you don't know the range, you can check, as I said, on the router's settings page, which you will access through the default gateway, as you could see here from the command prompt, and by logging in with the admin or whatever you've changed it to. So yeah, but that's basically how to do it on a Windows computer. As I said, it's pretty much the same on Mac, Windows Phone, iPad, and all kinds of devices. It's just, the trick is just to find the settings. Once you found them, it's the same. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, and if it did help you out, please leave a like. It would really mean a lot to me. Also subscribe if you found this video helpful and you want to see more tutorials coming up in the near future. And also tell me below if you do want to see a follow-up video this doing it on iPad or and Windows Phone. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.